Welcome to page 47, where I like to pick a random book off of my shelf or a table or somewhere in my cluttered house and read page 47 of it and talk about what I think about it. The book I grabbed today is The Undiscovered Self, The Dilemma of the Individual in Modern Society by Jung, a passionate plea for individual integrity. So let's see what page 47 has to say. And I used my voter registration card as a bookmark. And I dog-eared something. I wonder why I did that. It's been a long time since I opened this. Oh, so here we go, page 47. You probably can't see that. That's okay. I'll start with the first full sentence. Here we go. The connection with the brain does not in itself prove that the psyche is an epiphenomenon, a secondary function casually dependent on biochemical processes. Nevertheless, we knew only too well how much the psychic function can be disturbed by verifiable processes in the brain. And this fact is so impressive that the subsidiary nature of the psyche seems an almost unavoidable interference. The phenomena of parapsychology, however, warn us to be careful, for they point to a relativization of space and time through psychic factors, which casts doubt on our naive and over-hasty explanation of the parallels between the psychic and the physical. For the sake of this explanation, people deny the findings of parapsychology outright, either for philosophical reasons or from intellectual laziness. This can hardly be considered a scientifically responsible attitude, even though it is a popular way out of a quite extraordinary intellectual difficulty. To assess the psychic phenomenon, we have to take account of all the other phenomena that come with it, and accordingly, we can no longer practice any psychology that ignores the existence of the unconscious or of parapsychology. That's page 47. And that's kind of tricky without context, but this kind of touches on the fact that the brain, right? Your brain, this guy, that's a physical thing. That's a piece of meat. It's squishy, jelly-like meat, but it's a piece of meat powered by electricity and chemicals, which is kind of badass when you think about it. So your brain does visible processes, like with the right tools, you can see different signals being sent, electric signals jumping around, making you capable of moving your arm or talking or eating or sitting on the floor or standing or whatever it might be. Your brain does physical processes that can be observed. You know what we cannot observe directly? Consciousness, a thought. Now you can put people in like a functional MRI and like take a scan of your brain, and you can see like during certain activities like more blood flow goes to different parts of the brain, more electrical activity is happening in certain areas of the brain, but you can't see the thought itself. So that's a conundrum. It makes it kind of a spooky, almost ghostly, otherworldly thing, right? Like, you could put me in an fMRI, and I have been in an MRI before, and I have these cool images of my brain from that, but I can't see my thoughts in it. You can't tell that just like an hour before that, I was panicking like crazy because I'm extremely claustrophobic, and I had to be like sedated with a bunch of Xanax just to get in the machine. Yeah, you can't see that. You can't see what I was thinking. You can't see that I was thinking about how horrible I felt stuck in this tube. But you can see my brain. That's really interesting, right? And to take it up a step further, right? Try to observe your own thoughts. What does that mean, right? What does that mean? That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Do you ever stop and notice when you're thinking what you're thinking? Like, I'm sitting right here now and I'm thinking about I don't know, there's a picture on the wall in front of me, right? Well, that's one thought, right? There's a picture on the wall in front of me. I had that thought after all of the actions in my brain happened to make me aware of that picture on the wall. I was aware of that picture on the wall long before I ever had a thought about it. And that's how it works for most people. That's how it works for you too. Your brain and your body are aware of your environment before you ever have any conscious awareness of it. You have to take this extra step to see this thing on the wall and go, that's a picture frame, right? But then you can even take it a step further and stop and go, why do I think of this thing called a picture frame? Why do I care that it's a picture frame? Why is my attention on that thing? That's what's called meta thought when you're thinking about thinking. That's meta in general. Thinking about thinking, doing the thing about doing the thing. It's when you take it up a level higher, which is why I'm really, really pissed off that Facebook stole the phrase meta, because it was a really cool phrase before they got a hold of it. This went totally off the rails, but I need to reread this book probably about 3 times because it's complex. And I do like to be challenged, but when I am, I sometimes have to read things or listen to things a couple times.